The Life and Sad Ending of Ronnie Spector. Ronnie Spector was born Veronica Yvette Bennett on August 10, 1943, in New York City, New York, U.S. Her father was an Irish-American descent, and her mother was of African-American Cherokee descent. She has a sister named Estelle Bennett, with whom she grew up in Spanish Harlem. Ronnie and Estelle were raised by their mother, and their father had abandoned the family when the children were still very young. Ronnie belonged to a family that had music flowing in its blood. Her cousin's sister, Nedra Talley Ross, and Estelle joined her to form their own band known as the Darling Sisters. That band later changed its name and came to be known as the Ronettes. The band became the center of attention in their neighborhood. They soon got the opportunity to perform at the Apollo Theater and signed a deal with Colpix Records. They released a few singles with the label but failed to make their mark in the music industry. They continued to perform in local clubs till they got steady jobs as dancers at the Peppermint Lounge on 46th Street. Her career received a boost in the mid-1960s when the Ronettes signed a deal with Phil Spector and his record label, Phillies Records. The first success came with the songs Baby I Love You, Be My Baby, and The Best Part of Breaking Up. In 1965, their track Is This What I Get for Loving You and Born to Be Together were among the top 100 hits of the music charts. Ronnie's voice was ideally suited with Phil Spector's wall of sound effect that was in vogue at the time. In the later half of the 60s, the group toured all over Europe, where they performed with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and they recorded a number of popular songs with Phillies Records, including their last song, I Can Hear Music. The group eventually broke up in 1967 following a string of failures and a negative turn of events in Phil's career. By then, Ronnie had gained the reputation of being the original bad girl of rock and roll, and she and her band members had created their own style with their short black skirts and mascara. The group reunited in 2007 for the induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. After her bad breakup, Ronnie went solo in the single Try Some, Buy Some, and she worked with George Harrison and John Lennon, but failed to produce any major hits. In the mid-1970s, she briefly formed the New Ronettes with Chip Fields and Dan Linton. However, their music didn't match up to the works of the original band. During this period, she sang the duet You Mean So Much to Me with Southside Johnny and Ashbury Jukes, a band that was part of their debut album. She continued to make appearances with the band to keep up with mainstream music. Ronnie recorded her first solo album, Siren, in 1980. This paved the way for her to work with punk rock star Joey Ramone and his band. By 1986, she had regained her popularity and was featured on Any Money's top 5 hit list with her song Take Me Home Tonight, which became one of the top videos for MTV that year. She released her album She Talks to Rainbows in 1999. It was produced and promoted by Joey Ramone. She also performed at the B.B. King Blues Club and Grill in New York City. She provided backing vocals for the album Project 1950 by the Misfits. Her album, Last of the Rock Stars, was released by Baby Girl Sounds in 2006. This followed her Christmas EP that featured 5 new Christmas songs in 2010. She also performed Amy Winehouse's songs as a tribute after Amy's death for a benefit of a Daytop Village de-addiction centers. In 2016, her album English Heart, which was her version of the song of bands such as the Beatles and Rolling Stones and the Bee Gees, peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Top Heat Seekers chart. Lately, in August 2017, People magazine featured her and the Ronettes with their new single, Love Power, produced by Narada Michael Walden. Thus, her music career has traveled a full circle. In personal life, Ronnie married songwriter and record producer Phil Spector in 1968. The couple adopted 3 children, Donnie, Lewis, and Gary Phillip. Spector had earlier launched Ronnie's musical career. However, Ronnie accused him of imprisoning her in their California mansion and tormenting her psychologically. During this period, she took refuge in drugs and even attempted suicide. Ultimately, she escaped the mansion in 1972 and with the help of her mother, filed for divorce in 1974. Ronnie later married Jonathan Greenfield in 1982. They have 2 sons, Austin Drew and John Charles, and the couple lives in Danbury, Connecticut. Probably right now is her worst time for her, and her health is slowly deteriorating. Thank you for listening to the story about the life of Ronnie Spector. Like and comment your opinion in the comment section below.